Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Gematria Effect Sports. Today, July 30th, 2018, CNN featured this story. After his brother's killing, NFLer taking anger out on NFL. Here they use the word revenge in the headline. Again, anything that's reported in the news, it's reported on a date for a very specific reason. And this article coming July 30th, I want you to see how it connects with the day that this player's brother died, which was April 22nd, 2018. And here it is right here. From the day of the death, April 22nd, to the day of this news story is 99 days later. And the story is about what he's going to do this upcoming NFL season, which is the 99th season of the NFL. This is not an accident, a mistake, a coincidence. This is all part of a perfect script, which is also what his brother's murder was part of. His brother's death was no accident, no mistake. It was a ritualistic killing, a sacrifice for him being in the NFL. This happens all the time to celebrities. They lose their family members who are close to them. It often happens when they're new to their entertainment profession, from sports to theater to the music industry. You pay attention to how often this happens, these random killings. You know, this guy was shot to death in Bellevue, Washington, and I bet you if you look at the murder homicides in Bellevue, Washington, for this past year, he might be the only person on the list. You know, people don't get shot to death in Bellevue, Washington. But anyway, this happened April 22nd, 2018, which was a date with numerology of 64 and 44. And as I've said, ever since we learned about reverse gematria, going through history, when you look at dates with numerology of 44 and 64, there's always a ritualistic killing on that date. It's clockwork, because the word kill has gematria of 44 and 64. Keep in mind the gematria of shooting is also 44. This brother was shot to death. So, from his birthday, the day he turned 22, to the day that his brother was killed, was a span of 103 days. On his 103rd day of being, his brother was murdered. And I talk about this number again and again all the time. 103 is the 27th prime number. The word ritual equals 27. Comes up again and again in tragedy. Just talked about this with the Demi Lovato overdose most recently, but I've talked about it so many times. And in my book, Letters and Numbers, talk about this relationship again and again. 103 and 27. The ritual pairing. In this case, the nickname for this football player who had his brother murdered is Budda. And look at Budda in Gematria, 103. On Buddha's 103rd day of being 22, his brother gets killed. Consider also him being 22 years old. That's a big number in football. 22 men on the field, the master builder number in numerology. What else stands out about April 22nd? It's also the 22nd. He's 22 years old, and it's the 253rd day of the year, which is the 22nd triangular number. So it's all about 22. It's all about his football career. You know, football, a game of numbers. His initials, by the way, Budda Baker, BB. B's the second letter. So BB in letters to numbers is 22 for another 22. Notice April 22nd is also the 112th day of the year, the day his brother was murdered. The word mathematics with the alphabetic order. M's 13, A's 1, T's 20, H's 8, so on. Mathematics is 112. Like 1 plus 1 equals 2. But it's also paralleling where he plays football. He plays for the Cardinals, who have their stadium in Glendale, Arizona. Gematria of 112. Recall 2 years ago, the season of Super Bowl 51. After the Patriots' first game being scheduled in Arizona on the 112th meridian, with everything else that lined up for that game, I was able to say, looks like the Patriots might be in the Super Bowl again this year, because Super Bowl also has that gematria of 112. That's a tangential point from this story right here, but just to give you greater significance of these numbers. The year of Super Bowl 51, the Super Bowl was in Houston. Houston also sums to 112. Matt Ryan equals 112, who lost in that Super Bowl to Tom Brady. The news today, coming today, July 30th. Today's the 211th day of the year. 211's the 47th prime. Seattle and Bellevue, which are neighboring cities, is on the 47th parallel. 211, the 47th prime. The brother was murdered, again, in the Seattle-Bellevue area. Seattle, of course, an NFL city as well. The word killing also has gematria of 47 and 211, and this story of the killing of his brother comes out on the 211th day of the year. Again, 99 days after the death of the brother before the 99th NFL season. So anyway, that's the main points. His birth name, Budda Baker, is Bishard, which has gematria 47. Again, 211, the 47th prime. How fitting. And I just want to look something up real quick. I want to see if last year was his rookie season. I think it was. If it was, I want to tell you what's interesting about that real quick. But I just want to make sure that last year was his rookie season. It was. So last year was his rookie season. Last year was the 98th NFL season, right? And look at the name Baker, 98. Look at the name Bishard Baker, 98. This is what I mean when I say these players, they're birthed accordingly, they're named accordingly, their futures are planned out. You know? And he probably knows that his brother was ritualistically murdered for his career. You know? Bishard Baker, also 53. His brother murdered coming into this season, the 99th NFL season, which is going to end with Super Bowl 53. And 53 is that huge number with the NFL. 53-man roster, 53-yard wide field. Again, the reason why is because the shape of the football is the vesica piscis, which equals 53 in the same cipher. Also, 82 in this cipher. So he has a really good name for a professional football player or a football player in general. The football is the shape of the vesica piscis. I'll just show you here in the base ciphers. Vesica piscis is 53 and 82 as well. Right there, true seeker. Yeah, it's just, you know, the world's got to learn this code, because this code's not that hard. It's the alphabetic order forwards and backwards. It's numerology, which is just simple addition. And it's the same repetitive patterns again and again and again. If you haven't picked up the book, Letters and Numbers, I'll leave the link down below. That book, it teaches you how to do gematria, the relevance of the code, where it comes from, how it's been used throughout history, how it's used to rig sports, murders, elections, news, and more. Till next time, True Seeker.